My name is Kars. I'm the founder of Hubbub, which is a network studio for pervasive games for social change. Koppelkiek was a photo safari game that encourages casual interactions between individuals on a neighborhood's streets. In doing so, increasing the sense of place and ownership. And this was a project we did in 2009. It was commissioned by by Utrecht Manifest, which is a social design biennale, Dutch Design Double, which is a marketing program for over 20 design events in Utrecht and Amsterdam, and the city of Utrecht. And we wanted to show that social design not only encompasses the traditional design disciplines, but also new ones that use technology as a material for interaction and play. So this was designed to be played in Hoograven, and at the time Hoograven was one of the city's more troubled neighborhoods with high unemployment and crime rates. And Koppelkiek, a couple snapshot, is a photo of yourself with someone else. And in the game you get points for each photo and bonus points for including extra stuff prescribed by challenges, such as numbers, or the other person's front door, or flowers, and there were many more challenges in there. So you would upload a photo to the website for points, and after 3 weeks, the winner, the one with the most points, gets a prize. So it's that simple. So Koppelkiek, the way I think about it is a designed context within which participants together create meaning through play. And it incentivizes interaction between both friends and family and strangers in a safe and approachable way. And that's a very important aspect of what games can do. They can create a safe context within which you can experiment with behaviors that you would otherwise not engage in. So we kicked off this game with a final playtest and a press event, and we got some nice pieces written up in local newspapers as well as local radio. And the photos that were taken by players over the course of the 3 weeks it ran weren't just shown on the website, but we also put them on display in vacant shop windows, such as here. And it was also, they were also part of an exhibition of the Utrecht Manifest conference. So here we're trying to, just in a very simple way, create a physical feedback loop and have the game announce itself to non-participants. And we finished with a small party and award ceremony. And again, this was all very. This was also in a vacant shop that we made grateful use of many of a set of buildings that have since been torn down and replaced with, I think they've put new stuff there as well. I'm looking at Bas, who's a resident of the area, but I'm not sure. So, so this was a very simple game, and it was deliberately so, because we wanted this game to be inclusive. We didn't want to make a gamer's game. I think of a game like this as more like barely a game, something that Russell Davies talked about brilliantly at Playful 2009. I recommend you Google that, barely games. So how did we work? I'll share some of the process that we went through. And this was, keep in mind, this was done over the course of around 4 weeks. So to start, here's Tijmen, my collaborator on this project and also involved with this conference. We did several tours of the neighborhood to get a sense of its geography. And we also talked to those who were very familiar with the area. And what we found mostly found its way into the game's kind of general philosophy, which is that Hoograven as a neighborhood is very fragmented with specific groups living in specific parts of the neighborhood, and we try to kind of stitch these fragments together in a gentle way. We also engaged in, as you do when you design a game, in many local play testing. So here's again an example of time racking up lots and lots of points in an early playtest where we had slightly different rules from the ones that we settled on. I was terrible at this version, by the way. I scored hardly any points. And later on, we also tested versions in between work and over the weekends, because this was a game that was supposed to be pervasive, which is to say you play it on and off over a longer period of time when you feel like it. So we carried these cards with us to remind ourselves of the assignments that we were supposed to complete. And throughout the game's design and during the running of the game, we were physically present in a vacant former green grocery. And this helped us, again, with getting a sense of place and also engaging with potential players leading up to the game and during the game interacting with actual players. And we got some nice responses. Most of the people we talked to were very happy to have just something nice happen there for a change, because most of the attention that they got from projects and from media focused a lot on the specific problems of the neighborhood. And they were relieved to have something that didn't explicitly deal with those issues, because some of those issues were quite painful to the people there. We also learned a bunch of stuff. For one, it's very important when you do a game like this to finish the design before you need to start marketing it. And this is because it won't do to just say, we have this nice game, come out and play. It helps to be very specific about the kind of player experience you're offering. And we worked to get to notify people of the game's presence. We spread flyers door to door, for instance, so we cast a wide net. And we were going for a very broad appeal, but looking back, perhaps it would have been more effective to target a specific audience, a specific group within the neighborhood. Even if you're going for broad appeal, I think that's a good strategy, because that group can be your lead player base, the ones you approach directly, and those can recruit other groups. And in any case, a game like this, it helps if it's self-recruiting, to make it in the player's interest to recruit others, so that the game is more fun the more people play it. Of course, you don't want to go the route of having the game be about recruiting others, because then you're just going to be a spammy viral marketing thing, which is besides the point. And we had a live event at the start and at the finish, but looking back, we could have used more live events to punctuate the online play and kind of create short arcs that break up the big one that spanned the whole game. So to wrap up, I think a game like this can emphasize that social change happens from the bottom up, as it demands active participation, and of course that's a barrier for kind of broad reach, massive reach, but you trade that for deeper engagement. So our idea was to do something relatively brief, but to perhaps spark something that would be the beginning of a positive change. Although, how to measure these things is, to me, still an open question. It's even a question to me if you need to measure these things. But in any case, whenever I'm involved with a project like this, it comes up eventually, and I'd love to get input and ideas on how to do that. Subsequent games like this can still be short. In any case, I think games like this don't need to run indefinitely as some others do. But they should scale to as many neighborhoods as you'd like, because designing a game, particularly if you want it to be slightly more sophisticated than what I've been showing you here today, can be a relatively expensive endeavor. And so if you come up with a solution that scales to many neighborhoods, then you can kind of gradually get a return on investment. And so we'd love to have another go at something like this. So if you're interested in collaborating with us, please grab me afterwards. Thank you very much.